Where's our lights? Ooh.
There's our back. We're back. Freaking Spectrum.
Okay, I gotta do this audio.
Huh?
Hold on, don't turn it all the way down.
What are you
actually,
What are you trying to do?
I have to unplug the camera and turn the audio off. Because this is recording audio. Okay?
Okay. I don't see anybody yet. I think they've abandoned us. I think it's over for them. That's what I think. They're like, man, we're done with you guys.
Well, I messaged Nick and told him.
You told him what happened?
My thing is, if you're going to say when we call that it's a scheduled maintenance thing, then why the fuck aren't you telling us? If
No
it's
idea.
scheduled, then let us friggin' know.
Unbelievable.
You think I would schedule a stream when they were going to have the maintenance work done?
Well, I mean,
I think that they do things and then all of a sudden they just put that out there. It's a scheduled thing. That's my conspiracy, okay?
yeah, you're probably right on that one. You had the blue and you actually had the Ukrainian colors in that one,
No.
right? Was it the blue and yellow? Wasn't it blue and yellow?
It was blue and purple, I think.
Oh, okay. What happened? Well, Tweedledum, Spectrum Internet just died on us.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Supposedly, they're doing a scheduled maintenance thing.
But we are committed to video excellence, so we stayed. Nobody. Spectrum claims that there's, what is it? A scheduled maintenance.
Scheduled maintenance thing, but they never told us of the schedule.
They never told us of the scheduled maintenance thing in Machingy.
Yeah.
Because if they did, we still would have done it. We would have just told you guys,
Right.
expect a little drop, we'll be back.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're back. We were landing the plane anyway. We were
were.
just talking
We were.
about the
I'm just gonna end it right there.
Yeah.
Basically, the girl survived. She's
She made it.
More
She
than
lived.
surviving. She's living. It was really cool too because
Got her kids back.
She actually was going for an abortion because she was in such a bad state. She ended up keeping the baby.
Yep.
She was able to get reunited with the baby, and that child is her life.
Such a ridiculous
it's
story.
such a cool story.
Such a ridiculous story. And I feel really good about her making it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest thing is that all the horrible influences are out of her life.
And she did that on purpose.
Yeah, she did.
She moved herself to an area where she didn't
got
have
herself
those
40
influences.
minutes away
Yep.
from all the bad. And homeboy got himself locked up. He got locked up for breaking and entering. And
Oh, okay. Well, good.
so he's black in Maine. So they sent that man away for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, shout out to the homie. But I'm glad you're away from.
About that guy.
I'm glad you're away from Shorty. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so the song that we just did.
That was Black Sabbath,
was the
Hand
Black-
of
yeah.
Doom.
What do you give it?
That's a solid 9.1 for me.
I had a solid 9.
Solid 9 even.
Even,
Okay,
yeah.
well, there you are. There, listen to all 7 of you. We shall return
Some overkill.
with some Overkill. I'm assuming this is going to be like a thrash metal type of heaviness. Then out.
Sorry out.
Down. Overkill on the way. Bang.
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that
can
off.
also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee,
Can't
a
guarantee
positive
you
review.
A positive review.
Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VIN and SORI. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. SORI and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. Shout out to Cassia Campbell, Charles Shalidem.
To buy our merch.
It's a very long way of
Alright,
saying
you
buy our merch.
We are doing the Nick birthday DJ stream. The
Yes.
next song on our list is Overkill, Fatal If Swallowed.
5:55 on that one.
Oh.
If you guys were in the previous streams, welcome back for the third time. If you're new, welcome. We all VIN and SORI, and the moment has arrived, dear listener. Here is Fatal Is Swallowed by the band Overkill for the DJ Nick, who's right there. And the time has arrived. You're selling for time because you can't find the thing, but I just found it. Let's do it. Shut up.
paper. Save me from this review. Save me from this. I really thought that you were teasing me. So, like...
Nope!
I didn't realize what the song was about.
Well, I mean, we don't know what the song's about. We gotta analyze,
that last line tells you, look.
We've gotta analyze the
Look at
lyrical content! We gotta analyze the lyrical content, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, as Stephen Amwar says, it's a
romantic love song.
It's a romantic love song, dear listener. Metal is a very, very, diverse genre.
And it had a classic sound to it.
Yeah.
Vocal style.
Yeah.
The sound of the guitars.
Yeah,
This
definitely
came
had an
out in
Iron Maiden vocal
1987.
style to it, for sure. What'd you say?
This came out in 1987.
Uh-huh.
Babe, what are we gonna do with these lyrics?
What? Lust is a fire which warms you in the
Yeah.
night, scorching the edge of your soul. I am desire, your eyes are filled with light, pleasing the master your goal. Like a fly to a spider, against my web you fight, my poison dousing your flame. Call on the lyre to fill the hole with light. Your feelings went as I came. I think this is just sex, drugs, and rock and roll shit. Like he's he's about to knock some girls out on the tour bus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And pleasing the master. Yeah. So fly to a spider, against my web you fight. This is in the 80s when I guess you could still say stuff like that, where you're talking about overcoming resistance, like overcoming female resistance and get away with it. You can't write songs like that now. You'll get murdered. This is Me Too shit. You know what I'm saying? You'll get Me Too'd.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying I don't think you can write songs like this where she's like fighting against his web but ends up being a sexual conquest anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. Go ahead. What are you saying?
I can hear kids in the hallway. I'm telling everybody to go downstairs.
Why? What would they be doing upstairs?
Who knows?
You want to make sure you tell them to go downstairs.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm already feeling uncomfortable here.
I mean, like I said, it just looks like, he's singing about life on tour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how shit goes down.
I thought it was interesting the way that he was defining lust.
What do you mean?
These dumb kids.
What are you doing?
I can hear them in the hallway. I'm not having this conversation with them in the hallway.
Why would they even be upstairs?
I don't know, babe. Maybe they're doing their laundry or whatever they're doing.
Oh my gosh. Is this a Motorhead cover? Is this a cover of a Motorhead song? Soraya wants to go out there and run security. Were they up here?
Yeah. Zoe was sweeping the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah, she looked guilty too when I came around the corner. I'm like, go downstairs.
You can make songs about violently murdering your partner, though. Correct. Yes, you can. Love the way you lie. All that
when
jazz.
he's talking about the lust, isn't he talking about the I don't think he's talking about his lust. I think he's talking about the girl's lust.
Yeah.
The groupie's lust.
Yeah. I do think that groupies have a lust issue with the rock star for sure.
Yeah,
I don't think that they're.
No, I agree. I
know.
guess I was looking at it before like they were victims, but then I'm not really sure why I did that. But we were watching well, we can say this one. We were watching a vegan documentary. What was it? Bad Vegan.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was somewhat of a victim, but at the same time, like, she made the decisions that she made and used the people that she used because she was going to get to a certain end that she wanted.
Yeah. It's just that he double crossed her before she could double cross him, basically, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen stuff where people like.
I actually want to rewatch that documentary because I still don't understand how she fell into that trap. Like, that's still unclear to me how that happened.
Well, one person made their thing.
I reached out to her. I messaged her.
You did?
And I said, hey, I haven't checked if she's responded yet. I was like, hey, you want to do a follow-up interview to whatever. She hasn't responded yet, but anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, that kind of made me say, well, actually, people. There are sometimes I've seen some kind of true crime documentaries where the people, they got sucked into it because they loved the person, and the person was saying, I'm gonna die if you don't send this money, I'm gonna get killed. And so, you know what I mean? It's not for their own. They wanted to save the person's life.
I'm just amazed at how many women get caught up in those schemes, man.
No, yeah.
It's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah. So when I read this, I was like, I'm pretty sure they're talking about the girls and them having lust. And I was like, well, that makes sense. The girls probably, they're lustful. They also want maybe some fame if they get involved with someone who already has fame.
Yeah. They're caught up in the life.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Animal attraction, the numbing of your flesh. No reason to let this action wait. I don't really know what the numbing of your flesh means there. Maybe there's some drugs involved.
I would
which
assume so.
That sounds very Bill Cosby to me. Sounds very, very Bill Cosby to me. The numbing of your flesh.
Yeah.
No reason to let this action wait. Your physical
But wasn't there a certain drug that made your face feel numb?
Yeah, I think Coke and I think other.
Yeah.
I think that's the line. Sometimes I cannot feel my face with corn. I think it's talking about Coke. You can't feel your face on a Coke bench, I think. Open up, take the bait. You taste it, revolting, wishing you were dead.
Oh.
The effect, you'll never grow old. Oozing slime, foaming at the mouth, so dizzy,
Ew.
the poison takes its toll.
Okay, but he says, are you a believer or are you just a corpse? A worm-eaten mass of disgust. Yeah, I'm a deceiver, the reaper, a leech. The reason you're driven by lust, but you're not the first and you won't be the last. I lead, others will follow. No mercy, forgiveness, no begging for reprieve.
My venom fatal is
Yeah.
swallowed. Yeah.
It doesn't sound like he's very healthy in these situations, but at the same time, he's being honest about them.
Yeah, this is one of the secrets that, I don't know how to say this.
Just say it. Listen closely, ladies.
I think a lot of this is something that it shows up in lyrics a lot, especially in metal. Also a little bit also a lot in rap, but I don't think that women really truly understand what's actually happening. And a lot of that is it's when men are able to have a lot of commitmentless sex with women, they end up truly resenting and having a deep feeling of disgust for that woman that they did that with. So that's why there's all this sexuality and disrespect of women in the hip hop scene. It's they're disgusted by those women. I mean, they get the pleasure from it, but right after that, there's this real deep visceral disgust. I don't want to see you type thing. And Freud talked about that to a degree, and I think Jung talked about it in a more obviously in a Jungian way, but it's one of those things that doesn't get talked about. It almost only gets talked about in art. I've had those conversations with close friends where it was like, yeah, man, I ain't trying to, oh, what happened with Shorty's like, oh, and you could just tell there was an immediate switch. Before, when you were pursuing it, it was, it's all you think about, and then once if it's too, I don't know how to say it, but there's a lot of residual ick factor, and you literally never want to see the girl again, and a lot of it, it's like, oh, men are dogs, they just want that, and then once they get that, and it's worse than that, they're disgusted by it. So he says, are you a believer or are you just a worm-eaten mass of disgust? And he says, I'm a deceiver, a reaper, a lech, the reason you're driven by lust. So, like, you feel gross about yourself, you feel gross about the girl, and then you resent the encounter, and so you never want to see her again because you don't want to be reminded of your own grossness and hers. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, but I've seen that. I mean, obviously I've seen it in my life, you know, and I've seen it over and over again with my guys.
Friends. I saw it happen with my friends, and I never understood it. But because I was, like, raised in purity culture, like, they basically, like, they discouraged that so much that when you saw it happening, you were like, okay, purity culture's all the way right.
Yeah. Yeah, and...
Not that it is. I don't believe that it is, but
yeah.
It reinforced it because it was like, well...
I would definitely not want my daughters to do the casual sex thing. Like, I just don't think... I think it's particularly unhealthy for women. I really do. Especially on a psychological level. And purity culture is a lot different from that. Like, purity culture is rooted mostly in fear and shame. You know, instead of what's psychological. You know, for a while they had this whole friends with benefits arrangement, and the arrangement was you're friends, you're just having sex because we're so evolved. Mm-hmm. You just have a bunch of commitment-less sex, and hey, it's all good. We're just friends, yada yada. And inevitably, that kind of trend stopped being popular and died out because inevitably feelings got, you know, intertwined with it, and a vast majority of it was women. It wasn't good for women. Psychology Today wrote a bunch of articles about it, how hookup culture and friends with benefits is psychologically damaging, objectively speaking, to women.
Yeah.
So I think if you talk about, you know, male and female sexuality from that vantage point, I think you're going to come a lot closer to reality than just purity culture, which is based on shame and all the other shit. But yeah, I mean, it is a it is a yeah. Post-coital dysphoria, that discuss feelings and has nothing to do with the partner but yourself. Well, yeah, Freud could say on the technical level it has nothing. I don't think he would say it has nothing to do with the partner. I think what you probably mean is, like, it's not that the partner is disgusting, but it's your own issue. I understand that. What I'm saying is they're projecting their self-disgust onto the disgust of the partner. So I'm not saying that the partner is objectively disgusting. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, in the real world, that's the experience. That the guy is experiencing it as she disgusts me or whatever. And then doesn't want anything to do with it. And a lot of times the girl's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And the guy seems like he's being a real dick by never speaking to her again. But in reality, it's because he doesn't want to say, well, you disgust me. And I agree with Amy that it's not really her. It's you. You're disgusted with yourself. I mean, I mean, that's probably TMI, but that was that had been my experience, you know, back in the day or whatever. You know, it was always, you know, with myself versus whatever. But
oh, it was with yourself, not with the girl?
Yeah, if I really analyze it, I don't really think that the girl was. I mean, you know, she was beautiful. She was kept together. Yada yada yada. I didn't. You know, like that changeover, because it's immediate. It's like immediate. I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that I ever really saw, because you know how I am. If I thought the girl was gross, I'd never be around her. Yeah, I wouldn't even talk to her in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, I hear you.
You know, in all, not just physical appearance, but if I thought that she wasn't, you know, whatever, then I would have never talked to her, because, you know, you don't get any points that way around your boys either. Like, oh, you with that dirty girl. So, like, I objectively did not think that they were like that. Mm-hmm. But something happened, you know, psychologically once that moment hit and it was over. It was just, ugh. So.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's,
Yeah, I was talking to a girl one time that was explaining from her side what that was like. And it was really difficult to hear her talking about it, because this was one of those situations where, like, she kept landing in the situation like that with the same person, and then like he would be like, ugh, and he'd be like done with her for X amount of time, and then all of a sudden he'd come back around, and it would be like one more time, and then it was like, ugh, it was like kept happening to her, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, why do you keep putting yourself in that situation with him when you know that's how he's gonna react? And she said, like, I guess while they were together, like him pulling her in and that closeness, like she felt so loved that she kept thinking, maybe this time it's love. Maybe this time he's not going to leave. But then he would just, the same thing. He would get disgusted and he would take off, and it kept happening with the same guy. Like, but it was hard to see her in that situation because, you know, you don't want that for anybody. Like, you don't want to see somebody like putting themselves in terrible situations because they're in a search for love, and they think this might be it.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't like particularly gifted physically or mentally or like anything. Like, you know, she was kind of just terrible. But she was a nice person, and you know, I liked being around her. So I'm sure that it's just terrible.
What do you get the song?
Just terrible. Shoot, you go.
I'm gonna 7.5. I like the metal. The what do you call it? The guitar was the solo was a little bit kind of iffy, but yeah, 7.5 for me. What'd you give it?
I'll go with a 7.9.
Okay. Very true to the human experience, eh? You look a tad befuddled there, Missy.
Yeah, it's troublesome and I mean, it's true to the human experience. It's just, it's hard to hear both sides of it, and it's very weird when you say it because you're such a loyal person to me. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, it's hard. It's difficult to picture those two sides, you know what I mean? Like, that you can have those kind of experiences, but then, you know, like we have our experiences that I obviously don't see that side of you, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's wild. But I think it's important for people to know, and important to be discussed, and important for girls to understand, and boys too.
Well, I mean,
because like, obviously my knee jerk is to feel bad for the girls, but at the same time, like, I mean, that's pretty. Like, the girl is gonna feel like a victim, you know, and she can feel sad for herself. But I would think that for the guy in that situation, you don't necessarily feel like a victim, even though you've been a victim of your own self. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you probably maybe feel like kind of like a shitty person. I don't know.
Yeah, you just feel like a bad person. You don't feel like a victim.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so when you're a victim, you can kind of feel bad for yourself and be like, wow, this shouldn't have been like this. Like, I should have been blah, blah, blah. But, like, when you're the one that created that situation, like, I don't know, there's got to be a whole nother level of, like, pity that you could have for somebody in that situation as well, I guess.
On that note, dear listener, the moral of the story is, if you liked it, you should have put a ring on it. This way, this will help you. VIN out.
Sorry out.
Go. All right, guys, we got more music for you. We are not stopping. We are not stopping.
We are not. Edgar Winter Group, Frankenstein.
Check the commercial. We shall return. Turn.
I'm VIN.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at VinAndSORI@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VIN and SORI. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. SORI and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
Yes, to buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener.
Here you go. So we're doing a DJ stream for the big homie Nick.
It is his birthday. You see that there, DJ
the day
Nick?
of his birth. Super special that we get to spend it with him.
Senior Clay, unmuting now.
This one is called. Okay, the band is Edgar Winter Group, and the name of the song is Frankenstein. Thanks, babe.
Okay.
Apparently, this is an instrumental, so just sit back and listen.
Sit back, relax, and you shall be transported to another world.
Rock instrumental ever.
Oh, okay. Was it Edgar Winters, you said?
Edgar Winter Group.
All right, here we go. Go!
It's Edgar.
Some of this has got to be freestyle, right? Minister, gang, gang, gang.
Some of those sounds by the end remind me. Do you remember that scene on Willy Wonka where they're like?
I've never watched that movie start to finish,
What?
babe. You always bring up this show, this movie.
It's a movie.
And I always tell
a
you I've never
classic.
seen it start to finish, not once.
So they do that where they start using all those weird things as everything's like popping up. Like that time period got very much into those sound effects.
Yeah.
Like now
Like the
we're
alien,
like, those are old sounds.
like
you know what I
adjusting
mean?
the
But
dials on the
yeah,
spaceship.
like making everything sound really bizarre and weird and stuff. And then he's like throwing himself on the keyboard. The drummers. I like having two drummers. I like the battling of the drummers.
Yeah,
in
the
the
back
middle
and
of it.
forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my mom, we were homeschooled, and like I said, we didn't have much music. But my mom, like, she went through this phase where she wanted to like get us like more cultured. I don't know.
Culture. Get
And
you
so
more
she
culture.
brought us to well, Bates College is really close to where we live, which is a very nice college. So she started bringing us there when they would have like artists that would come and play. I had no interest at all. By the time she tried to get me into that, we were like 14. I don't know. And I was so distracted by that drummer, the faces that he was making when he was drumming.
Oh, yeah, why?
It's just so...
He was
like,
in his shit, man.
yes,
he was on his thing.
Yes, but when you're a teenager, like, you know how, like, anything that's weird, like, sticks out to you and then you just feel like laughing? And so then we weren't taking it seriously. I think she gave up on it.
It's funny, I showed Johan Blind from Korn from Woodstock.
Oh, really?
And, you know, when the beat...
Yes, he was laughing.
It broke him up like he was laughing. I'm like, what the fuck? This is like the most amazing moment in metal history right now. This is like metal and chemical purity, you son of a bitch. How dare you mock Jonathan Davis and Brian Head Welch. How dare you? But he thought, and of course I looked at it later, I'm like, oh, it's kind of funny. I mean, you're a grown man, you know, doing this shit with your head. I mean, what the fuck is happening? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know,
but at the time, I was very offended.
One of the artists that was there one time was like doing like all this like weirdness with his head, and we were laughing so hard, like me and my sister.
Well, those college people sometimes, man.
No, it wasn't a college student.
It was that
you know who it
Bates.
was? Yeah, but people could come perform there. It turned out to be, you remember that church that we used to go to? You remember the guy that he got something, he had to use a cane to get up on stage after a while. And then they ended up like putting in all this extra stuff for him. You know who I'm talking about?
Who? Do I know his name?
I don't know his name. He was the drummer at the church. I think he did the drumming. Yeah, he did the drumming, I think.
Oh,
Tall, thin guy.
yeah. Okay, so yeah.
He was the guy.
That was him doing all the weird movements?
Yes. And then when I ended up going to the church
Oh my
later,
God. And you laughed in his face?
No, babe, we didn't laugh in his face. We were
So
laughing.
wait, was he was doing the drumming?
Yeah, he was doing his little performance,
and then
he was like doing his head like all these like weird things, and we were like,
was he like headbanging? Like he was going with the music?
No, it wasn't headbanging. It was like like just like weird like head movements, and the music was weird. And
was it jazz music?
It probably was. I really don't remember, babe. I just remember my sister and I were mocking it, and my mother was so offended that we were mocking the music. And because I think that not only were we mocking that person, but she also felt like we were mocking her because she was taking it so seriously to bring us there. And
you
we
were.
We were just mocking the whole thing.
You completely mocked her.
She stopped bringing us there. And then years later, I ended up at this church, and then in walks this guy with the weird head movements, and he gets up on the stage. I was like, no. Oh, I'm going to have to worship, and I'm going to have to focus.
That's terrible.
So, yeah, I never did repent of that.
I mean, there's really not much can be done at that point. You know what I'm saying?
That's kids, I was probably like 12, 13, 15, somewhere in there.
All right. What do you give this song? I'm actually really interested to hear what you're going to rate this thing.
I actually enjoyed it, and it had a sort of feel to it, like not necessarily like I don't know how to describe it. Like, my brother went through these, so we used to have a keyboard, and there was all buttons that we could do, and so we were always trying to make stuff sound like weird or obnoxious. Like, that was the time. Other families are creating actually great music. We weren't. We were like, what's the most annoying set of sounds we can put together and also make it sound good and funny? So this to me like reminded me of like when we used to do that, because they had so much going on. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it an 8.8.
A lot of this is, I felt like a lot of this was improv, especially when like the distortion sound. Yeah. I'm like, that's replicatable. But I felt like the little,
yeah,
that obviously like had to be, a little bit of improv, which once you figure out music and once you figure out timing and scales, you can improv for a very, very long time and have it sound good.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Like, like when I start ripping solos and shit, and you're like,
I know.
That's really, really good. Yo, we should do that one. It's like, yeah, it's complete. I just completely, and you think, oh my God, that sounds so brilliant.
Yeah.
You're really good at guitar. Why do you tell people you're not good? It's there's certain principles, and if you just hang out in that pentatonic, if you just hang out there, it's always going to sound good no matter what you do, as long as you follow certain rules. So you can do. It doesn't mean you're good, is what I'm saying. You can do like. Yeah,
that's hard because if I switch that to cooking, there are certain principles that just makes you a good cook. Like I was making a grilled cheese, and I was instructing Zoe on how to do it, and I said, okay, the side of the sandwich that's in the pan last has to get flipped and face up, because the sandwich is going to keep putting off heat on the side that was just on the pan, and if you put that side down on the plate, then the moisture is going to collect underneath it, and it's going to get soggy on one side, so you have to flip it over. And the kids are like, whoa, like, how did you know that? And I'm like, trial and error. You get a soggy half a sandwich and you figure out, okay, why the frig did this happen? So like, there's principles, but I feel like I'm a good cook, so those principles make me a good cook. And here you are, so that's the only thing that I can compare it to. You have certain principles, but then you're saying you're not a good guitar player, and I don't agree with you. I think that you are. And I think that you are because you understand the principles.
Okay.
That's what he thinks I'm wrong, and he doesn't want to argue about it. Whatever, Vin. Okay, what did you give it?
I gave this one a solid 8.7.
Oh, and I gave it an 8.8.
Oh,
we're very in sync tonight.
We're in sync tonight.
Yeah, okay.
You even knocked out the 5.
I wasn't trying. I
That's
just left it there.
9 songs, dear listeners, but we got one more song.
Yeah, don't be sad. We've got one more.
Don't be sad. Happy birthday to DJ Nick. You have him to thank.
Procol Harum is next.
Harum. We shall return. Then out.
Sorry out.
Gone. All right, guys.
A
The moment
whiter
has
shade
come
of
upon
pale.
us.
Ooh.
Let's go. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sorry@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull
You
that
can
off.
also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee,
Can't
a positive
guarantee you
review.
a positive review.
Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord,
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
and they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/VIN AND SORI. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, and a shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Apparently, the fella who wrote this track just recently went to the A&SOF.
Oh.
And we're not going to be sad. We're going to celebrate the hell out of this man and his art form. Is there something we're supposed to read here?
No.
Oh, we're not? Okay.
This is the lyrics.
Okay. Didn't you say there was one where he gave the background or whatever?
Yeah, it was the one with the guy in the wheelchair.
Oh, okay. Excellent. We did it. Who is he, you may ask? He is right here, the big homie, DJ Nick.
Yeah.
He's 22?
And look, Vinny made him this tiny little dot, basically.
Oh, yeah, he's right there. Mashallah.
Hey, Nick, how you doing? How you doing?
I think the big homie just turned 22, right?
Did he? Oh.
So it's kind of like
You're very young.
Yeah, but he's a very old soul, man. We got shit from the
Yeah.
90s, shit from the 60s.
That's why I
all
was
over the
surprised
place.
when you
Like,
said 22.
Yeah, that's the thing about the young people on this channel, like the people younger than us.
I should have known by the way that he constructed his list, though. All the links were there for me, clickable links.
Yeah, they completely blow us away in sophistication.
Yeah, in their
and
musical
depth.
taste.
Yeah, it's like, what was I doing? What was I listening to at 22? I wasn't listening.
I was in Bible college, I think so. We couldn't listen to anything there either. Why did I keep joining these places?
Oh, he's 27. He's 27. He's
27.
Still, old soul. Okay, here we go. It's our final song, dear listener.
A whiter shade of pale.
Procol Harum, a whiter shade of pale. Let's do it.
Oh.
Doesn't that look like a cult meeting?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, wow, this is beautiful.
Beautiful.
This is Johann Sebastian Bach, I think.
my god.
Turn cartwheels across the floor. I was feeling kind of seasick. But the crowd called out for more. The room was humming harder. As the ceiling flew away. When we called out for another drink, the waiter brought a tray. And so it was that later, as the miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly turned to water, shade of pale. She said there is no reason, and the truth is plain to see. But I wanted through my playing cards, would not let it be. One of 16 vestal virgins who were leaving for the coast. And although my eyes were open, they might just as well have been closed. And so it was that later, as the miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly turned to water, shade of pale. much. Thank you for having us.
We'll see you again, big homie.
That was beautiful.
We'll see you again, big homie. Wow.
Okay, did it remind you of that song that our moms used to listen to? The one where Watch the Lamb?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Watch the Lamb. Yeah. I feel like why are Christians always copying and stealing shit? Bro?
I mean, how can you not? I mean, that sounds so good.
Yeah, but we should be coming up with.
It sounded exactly like it, though.
Coming up with the craziest music.
Yeah.
But the first thing that gets me is like this sounded like a studio recorded thing. Like it was so good.
Oh my gosh!
Musicianship was damn near perfect.
Oh yeah,
It was absolutely perfect, and vocally, the minute dude started singing, it was like, damn. But I must have heard the song before because I agree. Like it sounded
it's
like
so
some of the
exactly
Christian
similar.
music
It's
that we
so
grew up.
exactly similar.
Yeah, it's like
and the sound of his voice, musically, what they did with it, the way that he carried out. I mean, he did a couple of things that I think that the the Christian knockoff one couldn't accomplish. But I will say that like is it Ray Boltz? Watch the Lamb?
It was Ray Boltz, yeah.
1986.
Yeah.
And
so he would have grown up listening to this dude, basically.
Yeah, because when did this one come out?
Like 72.
72, right.
Yeah, so that's all the like
Yeah.
Christian musicians that grew up in the 70s when they started making music. I
Yeah.
mean, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But like
it's like exactly.
It's almost like.
But the song is beautiful. Watch the Lamb. If you
Watch
like
the
this
Lamb's a
one, you
beautiful
should
song.
definitely check that Ray Boltz Watch the Lamb.
Watch the Lamb's a beautiful song.
I
But this
listened to
song,
that
holy
so many
shit.
times when I was a kid, and I would cry every single time I listened to it.
It's a big tearjerker.
It really is.
big
But so this one's interesting because, like you said, first of all, the performance was unbelievable. The orchestra that was there, it was just, I would have loved to have been at that event. That just very, very, yeah, a good
Sometimes
feel.
I watch people in the audience and I'm like, do you realize
What
like
moment you're in?
Yeah, like you're in such a crazy moment. Like, and some of them were just sitting there. I'm like, you're in a crazy. This shit is insane. Like this one little moment in time with this dude and the whole band is pretty crazy. But it reminded me, like one of the most significant moments in my life was obviously with you. We're at the Corn shows, Alice in Chains, and I forgot what song they were going to, but. You know, instead of the lighters, because back in the day it was put up your lighters, and you look around everybody. It was put up your phones, and everybody put the flashlight on the phone, and you just turned around and you saw that venue had like 10,000 people. It was packed out,
beautiful,
packed out to the grass.
Beautiful.
So you had 10,000 people. I just turned around and there's 10,000 people with their phone. It was just one of the most beautiful moments of all time. And I was looking at like the people like close to us, next to us, and everybody had this kind of like, yep, we're in it, like
yeah,
unbelievable moment.
Yeah,
unbelievable moment. But
yeah, well, moments like that, you can find those moments in church, you can find those moments at the shows, you can find those moments in a lot of different places, but it's when the crowd sort of has like this universal motive or feeling, and we all feel it together, and there's a certain appreciation for humanity.
Yes.
Like you recognize your own and you recognize them around you.
Yeah.
And I felt like everybody was like, we honored everybody. Everybody honored everybody in that moment. And I didn't feel like anybody felt like other people were less. Like everybody that you looked at had that look on their face like,
yeah, we here.
We're all here. We're all here.
We're all here. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really, really cool moment. Really cool moment.
It's and like you said, like you do have moments like that in church. You do have moments like that in prayer meetings. And that's one of the things that, like, another thing that the channel really taught me. I always knew that God was everywhere. But it really, really, really taught me that even at a behemoth show.
I know. It's
like,
bizarre.
It's
crazy.
same presence of God. There,
Yeah,
same
and
whatever.
and I thought like, yeah, God was everywhere, but I mean, he's angry. He's over there. He's angry.
Right.
But it wasn't like
These
that when I
fucking
was
people.
there. Yeah.
It wasn't like that at all. It was
Yeah.
like he loved the hell out of those people, and he will literally, inshallah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just such a fascinating experience to be there. It's
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
So these lyrics were interesting. So Nick had given us the link for song meanings, and
What is Fandango?
I think it's a drink. I skipped the light Fandango. Okay, I was guessing it was either a type of drink or a dance. At first I thought dance, and then I thought maybe it was a drink.
All right, let's check it out.
I skipped the light Fandango, turned cartwheels across the floor. I was feeling kind of seasick. But anyway, so you see it, Fandango?
A lively Spanish dance for two people, typically accompanied by castanets or tambourine.
See, there we go. Yep.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense now.
So I guess it seems like nobody's really super clear on what the meaning of the song is, although
Well, it looks just like a story
Reed
between
said that
two
when he
lovers,
was yes,
basically.
but he said he overheard someone at a party saying to a woman, "You've turned a whiter shade of pale," and the phrase stuck in his mind. And so then that's how that phrase kind of got in there. But it looks like it definitely became more than that, and it does look like it's like kind of like relationshipy. And it's funny because it kind of had that like a feel to it, like, you know, like the sweetness that a relationship, depending on how the relationship starts, but the sweetness that a relationship can have when it first starts, especially when you're young.
Yes.
There's a sort of like whimsical lightness,
childlikeness to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And if both parties are interested in each other, like for us, even though we're older, like I still feel like we have those moments together. Not all the time. Like they kind of like all of a sudden like boop, one of those moments will be happening and you feel like the whimsical moment of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of happened today. I gave you a high five. We're like, yeah, it was like a football game. It's like, yeah, ah. And I was like, these people must think we're so weird. Remember that?
No, I don't actually know which moment you're talking about. Where were we?
Earlier today.
Oh, yeah, I can't believe that. Yes. That actually felt like it was yesterday. The days felt really long because I slept. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, stuff like that. Like we'll have like those different moments, and I think that those are important to have in relationships. But like this, I don't know. This song was just, it was cute, and it had like, I really liked his voice too. Well, it felt like another day, babe. What do you want me to do? I should have lied.
Turned cartwheels on the floor. I was feeling kind of seasick. The crowd called out for more. The room was humming harder as the ceiling flew away. And when we called out for another drink, the waiter brought a tray. Nick is saying that the guy that wrote the lyrics doesn't necessarily know exactly what the lyrics mean either.
Yeah.
And so it was that later, as the Miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly turned a whiter shade of pale. There it is right there. And she said, there is no reason, and the truth is plain to see, but I wandered through my playing cards, would not let her be. One of 16 Vestal virgins who were leaving for the coast, and although my eyes were open, they might have just as well have been closed. So it was that later, as the Miller told his tale, that her face at first just ghostly turned a whiter shade of pale.
So apparently this song actually has 4 verses to it. But most of the time only the 2 get sung, but it still is unclear. And again, what I saw when I was kind of looking into what he had said was that it's basically it deals in metaphorical form with a male-female relationship, which after some negotiation ends in a sexual act.
After
negotiation.
I mean, isn't that how it always works out? Some sort of negotiation. Hey, baby, have I got a deal for you?
It's a funny way of wording it. But it's funny because lyrically, I didn't necessarily like definitely see that in there, but you got that kind of feel of it, that it was that sort of like, sort of like the dance or the game that's played between a male and a female, when they're, I mean, I haven't been in a gay relationship. I don't know how those things work. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking from my own experience. You know, like you have those
completely different energies.
Yeah, and so you have the female energy versus the male, and it's just fun. And one thing that's really been cool about being with you is that, like, because I was always around men that were not very masculine, I always felt like manly, and I never wanted to feel manly. I wanted to feel like a woman, and so you're very masculine, and so I can feel like strong in my feminine attributes while at the same time feel feminine to your.
I agree.
Stop it, babe.
I agree.
Anyway.
I agree. No, but it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
like, in our day and age, it's kind of like you got to tiptoe around it. But like, I don't care what. I mean, nobody's gonna deny that there's something special when a man and a woman are, you know, it's
the energies,
the games, the negotiations, the cues. Did I read that properly? All that jazz, and just the different ways that men and women think, so that they're looking at the same situation but seeing them completely different, and then having to find a way to find each other and all that. Like, if I was with another dude, there'd be like 50% less issues. Because he'd be thinking like a dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've got to completely erase, you know, some of the innate factors between men and women to try to pretend like, oh, this is, you know, you just, you know, mix and match. No, like, there's something really fascinating about men and women when they interact with each other and all that. And like, their negotiation is a funny term. Is Sori dissing the men of Maine? I don't think this is like a complete diss of the men of Maine. It's just Sori was in a very, very, very
and it wasn't just Maine. It was just the
parochial subculture.
I kept finding myself in.
It was just the subculture she was in was full of bitches. I don't know how else to say it. Y'all some bitches. I'm sorry. All of y'all, I'm singing like, without exception. All of you, I'm trying to think. Yeah, they were all bitches. But most men in Maine are not like that. She just landed in the subculture full of bitches, which is fine because she thinks I'm some alpha male and, you know, whatever.
You are, babe. Stop. You come on. You can't do this for everything. You don't play the guitar good. What, now you're telling me you're a beta male? It's laughable.
Let's just continue.
I thought that you said that false humility was just ridiculous. Or people not just saying who they are. Like, when I would be like, no, I'm not that great of a cook. You'd be like, accept it. You're a good cook.
I didn't say that I was a bitch. I said you were around a bunch of bitches, so it makes me look like some giant alpha male.
You didn't say giant alpha male. You said
or
like
some alpha male.
Yeah, exactly. You are an alpha male. Stop it.
Yeah, but I'm not like Superman like you think. Like, you're just comparing me to.
Stop lying. These people know you.
You just comparing me to some bitches. I've been around some dudes that
made you look like a bitch.
That I consider superhuman.
They made you look like a bitch.
Nobody's ever made me. Look like a
then.
bitch.
So then that's it.
I'm just telling you, I've been around dudes that are actually superhuman, that are like real superhuman people.
Hey, Igor Deas, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, Igor. We love you too, buddy. Yeah, so I like that line though. There's no reason, and the truth is plain to see. Because to me, that's my current theory of love, is that it should be unreasonable. That's my current theory of love.
That's cool. If that's what it is. She said there is no reason, and the truth is plain to see, but I wandered through my playing cards. You know how they'll say, well, you better play your cards right.
Yeah.
So even though she's saying it's easy, this should be very obvious to you, he still wasn't really sure what to do.
Well, yeah. And the thing is that, so here's my theory. My theory right now about life is that we were put on this earth to learn how to love unconditionally. First God, then ourselves, then our circle. So that's my current working theory is that's the ultimate purpose of life is to love unconditionally. Okay. So if a person says, "Why do you love me?" particularly in a relationship like this, why do you love me? If you can give a reason for why you love the person, then you've just conditionalized the love that you have for the person. So my current theory is that love should be unreasonable. That's my current theory. So for example, if you were to say, Vin, why do you love me? And I say, oh, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're funny. Well, okay, if you stop being funny, would I still love you? Yes. If you stop being beautiful, would I still love you? Yes. If you stop being intelligent, would I still love you? Yes. So that's not the reason that I love you then, ultimately. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, she says there is no reason.
Yeah.
So the minute you list something is this is why I love this person, then if they stop being that way, would you stop loving them? And if the answer is yes, then did you actually love them? And you go, well, no, I would still love them. Well, then that's not the reason you love them then. If they stop being that way, but you still love them, then that's not the reason that you love them. And then I say to myself, oh, so what if beauty, funny, intelligence, springs out of the love that I have for the person, not because it's an objective value within the person. So, for example, you believe Orion is a genius. Like you're like, oh, I haven't seen kids that do what he does, but that's because you love him so much. So now he's a genius because you love him so much. So anyway, so that's my theory. That's my theory. And so right now, love is completely unreasonable. And obviously I got that from Deuteronomy, where God says, where Moses says, the Lord your God doesn't love you because you're a great, strong nation or because you're righteous. As he goes, as a matter of fact, you're actually pretty wicked set of people. And he says, but because the Lord loves you.
That's why he loves you.
So the answer, the Lord loves you, and it's not because of this. It's because he loves you. Like, even God himself in his infinite wisdom doesn't have the words to explain to us why he loves us. It's just, I love you because I love you. That's it.
Yeah, I do this weird thing when I start thinking about why I love you or how I love you, or, because I've never loved anyone like I love you. It's weird to me, and I try to understand it because it's not very explainable to me, like when I sit down and think about it. So I've done this like a bunch of times. I say, okay, Vin just got in a car accident. He's now a vegetable. He can't think or talk or really move for himself. I still love you, and I still want you around, and I'm like, okay, I still, like, I wouldn't be trying to look for an excuse to be like, well, it's over for him now. Put him in the nursing home. He doesn't really know where he is anyway, and let me find another relationship. Yeah. I want to still be where you are. So I'm like, okay. And then that's when I think about, like, okay, so then what is it? Well, it's something inside you that is still there, no matter if you're in a vegetable state or whatever state you're in. Like, there's something inside of you that I love, and it's you.
Right.
So.
Hi, you love me because you love me?
I love you because I love you.
There you are. That's it. And that, dear listener, is the meaning of life. You've just received the meaning of life in a live stream.
Nick, you're 27 years old, and now you've gotten all the wisdom you need.
Amy says, no, cut him loose.
So bad.
That's so bad. Cut him loose, she says. One day, Amy, you evil, evil woman.
Well, the good thing is, if you were in a situation like that, or like you got like Alzheimer's and you wouldn't remember me, I still feel like it would slip through. You'd still be like, well, she's pretty. Let me talk to her.
Rate the show. Rate the show.
This was a 10 for me.
Always gotta bring up some depressing fucking shit.
But that's because you always make it depressing. There's romance in that too, babe.
No, it's not. No, Alzheimer's, I forget you and shit. No, that's not. Just kill me at that point.
No.
Oh my goodness, you're the worst.
So now you're with Amy.
Yeah,
go get her.
Cut me loose.
Kill Veggie Vin.
Yeah. Listen, Amy, if you hear I'm in some state like that, fly over here and tell this broad to go with her life. For God's sakes.
No.
It is a 10.
Don't say those things.
It is a 10, bitches.
It's a 10 for me too.
It's a 10 for me. Okay. Shout out to the big homie, DJ Nick. Thank you for your patience, bro. We had some technical difficulties. Surprise, surprise. Internet issues. But we would not be deterred. We listened to 10 songs for the homie. That's what we're about. That's what we're about over here at VIN AND SORI. This is commitment, bitches. Anyway.
All right, you guys.
Love you,
Thanks for
Nick.
hanging out.
Love you, Nick. Love you, Sori. You freaking crushed this video. You beautiful people in the audience, you crushed the video. Happy freaking birthday to Nick. Happy birthday to Selah.